Hey, Brian from SnakeBytes here. Snakes are out of hibernation today, so I'm going to show you some of the cool animals that have been sleeping for the last few months. You're watching SnakeBytes. This is a Porphyracia valente. It's known as a bamboo rat snake, and they come from Asia. It's one of several species of bamboo racers that are available today, and they're all really cool. Now, what's really interesting about them is that they'll have anywhere up to 7 eggs, up to 5 or 6 times per year. So they're pretty highly productive animals, but they do like it a little cooler than most colubrid snakes. And speaking of that, these animals are finally out of hibernation. Now, I haven't seen many of these snakes in about 3 months because they've been sleeping, so I'm always really excited, and I want to show you some of the animals that I've missed in that time frame. When colubrids come out of hibernation, the one animal I'm always excited to see again would happen to be the rhino rats. Just that beautiful green color is something that I just amazed with. Now, when they're born, they don't look like this at all. They're actually born kind of a dull gray, silvery looking animal. It's not till about 6 months of age that they get this emerald green color, but that little appendage on their nose, that's what makes them a rhino rat snake. Sticking with Asian rat snakes, these are another one of my favorites. It's the Chinese beauty snakes. And you can see they have that really slow tongue, and they're a little aggressive when they come out of hibernation. But that's a lot of snakes, to be totally honest with you. Typically, when these guys warm up a week or two from now, they're not going to bite whatsoever. It's kind of a little bit humorous, to be totally honest with you. Now, these guys will max out at probably a good 5 or 5.5 foot, so they're really big. And some of the other Teniera, believe it or not, can get 7 or 8 foot long. But I'll tell you what, I love this guy's attitude.
How many species of venomous snakes are there? A, about 300, B, about 600, or C, about 1,000? Answer with a comment and keep watching to see if you're right.
You guys know that I love Honduran milk snakes. I'm going to just show you a few of the ones that I always love seeing. The tangerine albino Honduran milk snakes may be one of my favorite of the albino milks. The thing I really love about Hondurans is that they're a little bit more placid than most of the other milk snakes, and that I mean that they're not as squirmy, and they get really big too. A big Honduran might be 6 foot long. I also love the snow Hondurans, which are just essentially an albino aneurystic, so they're a double mutation, and they're just really cool with that peachy pink look. And then finally, probably the one that I really enjoyed when we first produced these guys were the ghost Hondurans. Now, this is actually an aneurystic, which is lacking the red pigment, but also a hypomelanistic, which just basically means it's lacking most of the black, but not all of the black. You can certainly see there's some black coming through. And when these guys hatch out, they're really beautiful because that black actually is a purple pigment. I tell you what, Hondurans are really fun to work with. Sticking with milk snakes, these are an animal that you rarely see. These are actually black milk snakes, or gagei. What's interesting about these guys is when they're born, they're actually red, yellow, and black, just like any milk snake. And as they get older, they turn this glossy black animal. They also get as big as Hondurans, reaching up to 6 feet in length. Definitely cool animals to work with. These are orange theri, or variable kings, and they get their name variable king just because they're so variable. This is what they would call a buckskin phase, but they also come in milk snake and even jet black melanistic phase. And of course, the more orange, the prettier they get. They'll have about 6 to 8 eggs, and they'll double clutch each year. And again, when you're hatching, it's really cool because you never know how the babies are going to look. These guys are albino prairie king snakes. Now, you don't see a whole lot of prairie kings out there for some reason, and the albino version just makes them that much more cool. They actually are relatively high production. A girl this size, believe it or not, will have up to 15 to 18 eggs, and she's going to lay 2 clutches each year, so they're relatively prolific. They hatch out relatively small, but power feed on pinkies, and I just really love these guys. There are a ton of really cool California king snakes out there, but I really like these high white Cal kings. Now, this is a polygenic mutation, which basically just means it's line bred for the amount of white. When you breed a white animal to a white animal, you're going to get more and more white each generation, eventually ending up with a snake that's up to 90+% white. This guy's about 80%, but I still think he's beautiful. This is the exact same mutation that I just showed you as the high white, black and white, but this is the coastal version, which is yellow. So basically the white version is what they call a desert phase, and the coastal version is the high yellow phase. It's really the exact same thing with a polygenic breeding for the most yellow you could possibly get. Sticking with Cal Kings, this is a lavender snow Cal King, and believe it or not, it took us about 6 years to finally produce one of these guys. I kind of dreamt about it for a long time, and it came out really cool. Basically what it is a melanistic or chocolate Cal King that's basically just a patternless snake that is solid chocolate colored, bred to a lavender albino, which is a lavender snake with yellow bands. But when you breed them together, you get double hets for both mutations, and eventually can get an all-purple snake, just like this little bugger. Another Cal King I find really interesting is a mutation that they call Ghost Cal King. Now it's a recessive mutation, but what's interesting about it is there tends to be 2 or 3 different mutations within that particular mutation. I know it sounds weird, but when you breed Ghost Cal to Ghost Cal, sometimes you produce animals that look just like this little bugger, but sometimes you produce things that look completely different. I haven't quite figured out what's going on in the mutation, but it's definitely an exciting project. I love garter snakes. I think it goes back to my childhood when I was catching my very first snakes out in the wild. So it's always cool to bring stuff out of hibernation and see my albino checkered garters again. These guys are really big production animals. A girl this size, once she's beefed up, will have 30+ babies, and they'll have 2 litters a year, which is really interesting for a live bear to be able to actually double breed each year. Again, their attitudes are just so strange, and they're just such gorgeous snakes. This is a pretty cool project I've been working on for quite a while. This is an albino Nelson's milk snake, but you can see we're trying to breed the triads or the bands out of it. So it's almost an all red snake, and it's coming out really cool. This is the best female that I've ever had ready to breed. So hopefully when I breed her to some specific males, I can produce some even cooler red animals. Brooks Kings are really incredible snakes. They're really placid and they get relatively big, but probably my favorite one that I'm working with are these Ghost White-Sided. It's basically a triple recessive mutation, which is really hard to get. The odds are 1 in 128 that you're going to actually hit that first animal, so it takes a little bit of time to get there. So it's actually anuthristic, hypomelanistic, and white-sided, but they're just really gorgeous with that kind of purple hue to them. Tell you what, I can't wait to produce more of them this year. Corn snakes are some of the coolest animals out there, and I dedicated an entire show to them not too long ago. This is a gold dust motley corn snake, and I just really like them because it's actually a caramel ultramel motley corn snake. So there's a bunch of genetics going on, but the color that they come out just really makes them rock. There are so many proven morphs when it comes to corn snakes, but every now and then you have to have kind of a little bit of a different, interesting project that may or may not work out. We actually hatched this anuthristic or black corn snake out 2 years ago, and it just has a really extremely reduced pattern down its back, as you can see. I have no idea if this will be genetic or not, but this will be the first year we're breeding them. This is a butter striped corn snake, and I think it's one of the prettier of the corn snake mutation. It's actually a 3-banger. It's an albino, a caramel, and a striped corn snake. Now you can see I'm really excited about the Kluberts coming out of hibernation. We'll be feeding them soon, breeding them, and it won't be long before we have tons of little babies. I have a feeling there's going to be some really cool Snake Bites episodes in the future. Josh, man, I need a favor, dude.
What's up, man?
Can you help me go through the Klubert room?
No, dude, I'm not going in there.
What are you talking about?
Dude, every time we put it in hibernation, it's dark. I mean, it's creepy. I hear noises. I think it's haunted, man.
Whatever, dude.
Just saying.
Jamie, can you do me a favor? Can you help me out in the Klubert room?
Oh, man, I'm not gonna lie to you. I think there's something demonic in there. I've been hearing all kinds of creepy noises and
Come on, are you guys, what is you guys' problem? It's the Klubert room.
Isn't that Sam's room anyways?
Yeah, Brian, and where's Sam been? She's been gone a week.
Dude, she's probably just taking a couple days off.
Well, I've texted her for a week straight and nothing.
Yeah, without saying anything to anybody? Dude, she hasn't tweeted, she hasn't Facebook. I think the room's got her, man.
Whatever, you guys. Hey, George, can you do me a favor, dude? I need to get 3 animals in the Klubert room. Can you do that for me?
Everybody said it's haunted, though.
Come on, man, don't be silly. It's the Klubert room.
And I'm afraid of dark.
There's a headlamp in there you can use, and I tell you what, if you do it, I'll buy you lunch tomorrow.
All right.
See you, Brian. See you later.
Good night, guys.
Hey, and I gotta go. Something came up. I'll see you later.
Dude, you were only there 5 minutes.
I know I gotta go though.
Gotta be kidding me, man. Guess I'll have to do it myself. This is freaking ridiculous, man. Why the hell everyone's so afraid of everything around here? Now they've got me frickin' thinking. What the hell is that? What the hell's going on? What the is going on? I'm out of here, man. Sam? Is that you, Sam? Sam, what are you doing? What are you doing, Sam? What the? Holy sh! Sam, what the hell? What are you doing? No! 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 No!
Alright guys, today's question is pretty important. We need to know, what do you put on your hot dogs? I'm pretty traditional, just ketchup and mustard, but we want to hear from you. Leave a comment below and let us know.
So there it is. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. It's certainly going to be a lot of fun to see what animals we produce from the colubrids this season. And if you want to follow all of the progress, you can hit me up over on Facebook and Twitter at SnakeBytesTV. Until next week, you've been watching Snake Bites.
So how many species of venomous snakes are there? Well, if you answered B, about 600, you are absolutely right. According to the World Health Organization, out of more than 3,000 species of snakes, only about 600 are venomous.
Not all the animals we take out are reptilian of sorts. This rose-haired tarantula happens to be a great ambassador too. She not only teaches kids that spiders aren't always something to fear, but the truth is Zombie here has really helped me get over my fear of spiders. Sure, I still fear them quite a bit, but I would never have handled a spider like her a year or two ago.